Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm Tracy, and I'm a performance coach. Now, if you're an independent creator, a coach, maybe a consultant, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to build a personalized blueprint for your growth, one that's specifically designed for the unique challenges that we face when we're the ones in charge. So let's just dive right in with a big question, and I really want you to think about this for a second. Are you just building a career, kind of reacting to whatever project comes your way, or are you intentionally building a system for sustainable long-term growth? Trust me, the difference is everything. And if that question hits home, it's because you know the struggle is real when you work for yourself. Unlike a regular job, there's no external force, right? No boss checking in, no deadlines from corporate to keep you moving. And at the exact same time, those boundaries between your work and your life, they just get so blurry, which makes burnout a constant threat lurking in the background. But the good news is there is a way to thrive in this chaos. So today, we're going to walk through a really clear 6-part roadmap to build your own personal growth system. We'll hit on the core challenge. I'll introduce you to the IPU Plus E blueprint. We'll build it layer by layer, and then we'll wrap up with one simple action you can take this week. Okay, so first up, the core challenge. Here's the bottom line. When you are the boss, the employee, and the marketing team all rolled into one, you just can't rely on the old strategies. You need your own personal system to give you the structure, the direction, and the momentum that a traditional job used to provide. And that brings us right to the solution, your growth blueprint. I call it the IPO plus E model. I want you to think of this as the master formula, the blueprint for organizing your entire professional life. It's how we're going to turn that chaos into a clear, repeatable process for real success. Okay, so what in the world is IPO plus E? It's pretty simple. It stands for input, process, output, plus, and this is the key, energy. See, it's a whole system that covers not just the work you do, what you learn, how you create value, what you deliver, but also the personal energy that you need to sustain it all. And here you can see how it all fits together. It all starts with input, gathering high-quality ideas and information. Then comes the process step, where you turn those ideas into your own unique assets. That, of course, leads to output, which is where you deliver value to your clients and your audience. And what fuels this whole thing? Energy management. Each part flows right into the next, and if you pull one piece out, the whole system just wobbles. Now, before we even start building that engine, we have to lay a solid foundation. And honestly, this is the most important and also the most skipped part of the whole system. We're talking about your guiding vision and your personal energy. This quote right here, this is a huge mental shift. I want you to stop defining your job by a title, like I'm a writer or I'm a coach. Instead, I want you to define the very specific problem you solve. Are you helping creators beat burnout? Or maybe you're guiding small businesses through their first digital launch? That problem you solve, that becomes your North Star. It guides every single decision you make. And of course, that North Star needs fuel. You are the only power source for your system. So managing your energy, it's not some fluffy luxury, it's an absolute requirement. This means protecting your physical energy, get some consistent exercise. Your emotional energy, build some protective boundaries. And your mental energy, figure out what your golden hours are for deep work and protect them fiercely. All right, with that solid foundation in place, now we get to build the core engine, the input, process, and output. This is the machinery that takes in all the raw material, transforms it, and then creates real value for the world. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, quality output starts with quality input. You need an information filter. I like to break it down into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is your must-read stuff, the timeless books, the expert research you need to really study. Tier 2 is for browsing, keeping up with industry news. And Tier 3, that's the emotional noise, the clickbait, the stuff you need to be absolutely ruthless about ignoring. But here's the thing, just consuming great information isn't enough. Your goal isn't to be a collector, just hoarding endless bookmarks and articles you'll never read again. Your real job is to be a translator, to process these ideas, put them into your own words, and connect them to what you already know. And this is where having a second brain comes in. Look, tools like Notion or Obsidian are great, but people get so hung up on the tool. The tool doesn't matter nearly as much as the action. The magic happens when you stop just highlighting things and you start summarizing them. The whole point of every note you take should be to capture an idea in your own unique voice.
So, when you do this over and over, you're not just taking notes anymore. You're creating reusable assets. Think of each concept as a little knowledge card or a building block. Over time, you build this incredible library of your own ideas that you can then mix and match to create articles, courses, or coaching frameworks with amazing speed and quality.
So, how do you actually assemble those blocks for people? You structure them along what we call a value ladder. You start at the bottom by sharing value for free, articles, videos, to build an audience. Then you can offer low-priced products like an ebook or a community to build trust. And finally, at the top, you offer your high-ticket transformational services to the people who are ready to go all in. Okay, so the system is built, but a static system goes stale pretty fast. The final crucial step is to activate your growth flywheel. This is what makes sure your system is always learning, adapting, and getting better over time.
And to do that, you basically need two sets of ears. You need to listen for market feedback. This comes from your public content. What posts get a ton of engagement? That tells you what people want. Then you need to listen for product feedback. This comes from your actual clients. Where do they get stuck in your course? This tells you how to make your stuff even better. And right here, you can see exactly how this flywheel gets spinning. You start with that high-quality input, which you process into your reusable knowledge cards. You use those to create output for your audience, which generates that crucial feedback. Then you revise and iterate based on that feedback, which then helps you find even better input next time. Every single turn of this wheel makes the next one faster and more powerful. That, my friends, is compounding growth. Now, I know this can feel like a lot to take in all at once, so let's bring it all back down to earth with one simple, concrete action you can take this week to get started. The very first step is just awareness. I want you to do a super simple time audit. For just a couple of days this week, track how your time gets divided between input, processing, output, and chores, all that admin stuff that keeps the lights on. You can't optimize what you can't see. And once you have your numbers, you can diagnose the health of your system. It's simple. If chores are eating up more than, say, 40% of your time, it is time to simplify or delegate. If your input is way bigger than your output, you're stuck in consumption mode. It's time to start creating. And if you're all output and no input, you are on a fast track to burnout. Please schedule a rest and refill day. This audit, this is your starting line. It's the very first step in taking back control and moving from just having a career to building a powerful, intentional system for your growth. It's what gives you the structure to chase your vision with real clarity and energy. And that leaves us with just one final question. What will you build with it?